Alright, sorry about that. I look a little rough. I need to shave. But Mr. Randy Smith and his first wife used to live 4 doors down from me, the opposite direction of where I pointed at the other direction, where my son was at the day of December 11th, 2019. And Mr. Randy Smith and his first wife used to live directly across the street from the family who charged my son with second-degree battery for punching their punk-ass kid in the nose and giving this kid a bloody nose. That's all my son did. He didn't break anything. He didn't fracture shit. Nothing. My son literally punched one of the two bullies in the nose, created a distraction for himself, and he got the hell out of a bad situation and fled to safety. And in turn, here we are. 2 years later, my son served 9 months in state's custody, was being given crushed up antipsychotic medication, but was being held accountable for his actions in court and everything else for any little minor. The kid could have farted wrong in this facility, and the court, the DA's office, brought that shit up and used it against my son to continue to keep him incarcerated for almost his full 9-month sentence, as opposed to a 6-month review that was very well insinuated by the public defender, Miss Amanda Sassoon, who I have her recorded conversation playing on Facebook right now. She indicated to us very clearly about the judge giving Ryan a review at 6 months, blah, blah, blah. So even at 6 months, my son didn't get released. All based off of a bunch of bullshit that this facility that was giving my son crushed up antipsychotic medication, Seroquel, all off of their paperwork and their recommendations that they were submitting to the court. And the bullshit with the DA and Mr. Rex English and all of that. It's all a bunch of bullshit. They all know it's a bunch of bullshit. It's what our country is being taught now is okay. It seems like if you're not a liar and manipulating the situation to benefit you and what your needs are, you're almost not normal anymore in today's society. It's not the way I was raised. I was raised not to be a liar, to be truthful, to have respect for other people, to never, ever, ever, ever would I have imagined that this court system would be so corrupt, number one, and number two, that the truth of the matter is that it's just about the money. That's all it is. It's only about the freaking money. So I'm gonna go get my ass in the house before it starts pouring down rain and it's about to storm. I'm gonna post these. I'll hopefully be able to come back tonight with a live video. I really, really want to talk about quite a few things, and I just hope that everybody appreciates what I'm doing. All the parents out there in the world, that their children, that, this is a movement that we need to start. We've heard Black Lives Matter, we've heard this, we've heard that. At the end of the day, all lives matter. Honesty and integrity matters. And in our court system, that should be number one. That's what it says way back from when the Constitution was written. From everything of our history states what standards the judges, the DA, attorneys, anyone in the judicial system, it clearly states what their standards are, their oaths that they take, their ethic, just everything, their ethics rather, sorry. My son's judge was, prior to being the judge for Slidell City Court, he was the city attorney. He is someone who I spoke poorly about on Facebook before realizing that he was fixing to be the judge for Slidell City Court. And I spoke poorly of Mr. Randy Smith, the head of the Sheriff's Department, for not doing anything to vindicate at all the fact that my son was denied being able to report that he was being abused and was sent back home to continue to be in an abusive situation. My poor child has not had a moment to sit down and just be at peace and try to even process just 2 seconds of this 10-hour-long fucking movie, this nightmare that we've been living. My poor kid hasn't had 2 seconds to sit down and process any of this shit. Trauma traumatic situations from your childhood, if you went and fought in the war, whatever the case is. Trauma causes people to withdraw. Trauma causes people to shut down. Trauma causes people to not believe and trust other people. Trauma causes a lot. It causes a lot of pain and a lot of heartache. And trauma just does not affect the person that was traumatized or victimized in their life that is now dealing with trauma. Trauma affects that person and the people around them, their family, their friends, their loved ones, the people who are trying to support them, who are trying to understand what they're going through. Trauma is a serious situation, and it needs to be addressed with a serious hand when it comes to really a lot of things in life. But it can't be used for an excuse. I wouldn't say that that's an excuse for anybody to get away with doing anything. However, when you're dealing with a situation like we've really been handed, where it's been blatantly put in our face, and we've had, like I said, y'all heard it with your own ears. My son's second public defender, Miss Amanda Sassoon, say on recording, after she left the judge's office from a private meeting, I posted a bunch of shit live and spoke about quite a few people here in Slidell, the DA, the sheriffs, the judge, all of them, public defenders, on September 15th of 2020, after my son was incarcerated. I spoke live on Facebook about a whole bunch of shit. Well, I pissed a bunch of people off apparently, and they called this meeting the next day, September 16th, 2020, in the judge's chambers, from what I understand. We were not aware of it. Well, I say we, my son didn't know shit. He was off in Shreveport, Louisiana, being drugged up and fucking held against his will at some place with a bunch of jerk-offs who do whatever the fuck they want to these kids and get paid to do it. Our tax dollars, government grant, government funding is paying these people to abuse and neglect our children while they're in their custody. And then turn around and send them home and send home these little bullshit things they want you to rate their blah, whatever. And it's like, really? Y'all are doing this to the kids and then holding them accountable for their behavior in the way that you present this paperwork to the court system for when they do go to court. These kids don't stand a chance. When you have people that are running a facility that think that it is okay to take a medicine, a black label drug on the market by this is deemed by the FDA. I didn't pull this out my ass or pull it out the air. A black label drug on the market. This facility thinks that it's okay to alter its form and to a powdered consistency, and teach the kids that this is a better way. This is the way to do it. You let me go and crush up a fucking pill and give to my son. And again, excuse my language. You let me go crush up a pill and give to my son, and watch what these bastards don't try to do to me. But yet, I, as the parent, the guardian, am just supposed to sit here and watch this shit take place and watch my son and thousands of other juveniles that are incarcerated and placed in these bullshit rehabilitation, privately owned facilities. I'm supposed to just sit there and watch these kids go through this, and then watch these parents try to figure out how the fuck to fix their kids when they get them home, just like I'm having to do. It's the most absurd bullshit I've ever seen and heard of in my life. We as a unit, as masses of parents, we need to come together and stand up for our children's rights. Like I said before, I've heard Black Lives Matter. I've heard this, I've heard that, I've heard about everybody else that matters. But I haven't heard one damn thing about juveniles' lives matter. Our children's lives matter. Our government, everything about the way that the school system, everything is being designed to alienate the parents from their kids, or really alienate the children from their parents. And why are they doing that? Why? Because they can keep fucking our kids up more and more, administering more medication, placing them in more of these. I'm sorry. I'm drinking some tea. I got a little dry